like that. Same thing.
Natural, right.
Look at them with their seasons. Right? Look, well, you need to stop calling, we need to call it a Ramsey.
Ramsey, right.
Yo, right now, no more Caesars, black people. We straight calling it the Ramsey.
Right.
That's the Ramsey hairstyle now. You know what I'm saying? Right? It's our rocks right here, to the rock, to the sun, right?
We all go to the sun, naturally.
Brotherhood, sisterhood, our familyhood, right?
We all one family, that's it.
Right? And continental Africans hate when I say this, but I got the cachet and I gotta say it.
Right.
The countries that you live in were not created by you. They were created in 1885 at the Berlin Conference.
I had this conversation yesterday.
The capitals were not created by you.
Right.
They were created by your white enemy, your oppressor.
Right.
And you gotta deal with that. Right? All the 54 countries, for the exception of Ethiopia, were not created by African people.
Right.
Every single one. South Africa, the Sudan, South Sudan,
actually, a lot
Niger area, named by a white girlfriend of the former governor of Nigeria, Nigeria, what became named the state.
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Nah, man, I just wanted to stop you and show the people that we a brotherhood.
Right. All right, brother. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
All right. Nice to meet you. So, like every civil war right now, and every civil war right now we have in Africa, including Nigeria, right, was all due to colonialism. Rwanda, right? The issue with the Biafra war in Nigeria was all due to colonialism. You know, every genocide that Africans are killing each other over land, resources, was all due to colonialism. And it was created because, for what reason? To take our land, to take our resources, to take our oil, to take our copper, all these things. So you have to understand this. Like, Nigeria is not naturally Nigeria. Ghana is not naturally Ghana. It was all created by white people for
Kenya.
Kenya
South
is not
Africa.
Even today, it's still economically enriching white folks. You know, all these countries, all these African countries are still economically enriching France, are still economically enriching America. America, 70% of America products was actually shipped from Africa.
Right.
So we have to understand.
Again, come, you got to get here too.
Okay.
Again, once again, our brothers, a brother born here in the United States.
Merlin's my name.
Merlin, a brother born in Mali. Where did y'all meet?
Okay, so back when MySpace was popping back in the day, my boy and I reached out. His brother answered. You know, he was in Egypt at the time. He was going to school out there. He facilitated the whole trip. Aswan, Cairo, Alexandria, all that. After that, we went down to Ethiopia, but I'm gonna let him talk for a minute because he made it all happen for us.
Oh man, you know, because of him, you know, him and his homeboys Wayne.
Yeah.
So we met in MySpace at the first time, and then we make some different talking. Then he said he may coming down to Egypt, and I was like, okay, you're welcome, brother.
Yeah.
So it's starting there.
Why I ask y'all to stop is because we having a conversation about black unity and Africanism, what we have to do. The first question Brother Yinka asked us was, are African Americans Africans? Right? So I want people to see evidence. Right? This brother has a Ramses hairstyle. Right? These brothers have, we the same, look at the skin. We the same people. We're the same people. This is what we have to understand. We got to put away the garbage and the insanity. No, seriously, take it out. Take out the garbage. Take out the garbage every day, every week. That's the garbage we need to take out. Because we still deal with it. It's in our minds. Right? We are one people, for better or worse. Right? I'm a ride or die.
For better or worse. I love that.
For better or worse. Right? This is a marriage that you cannot get out of. Right? It's a bond of blood. No matter what you say, no matter what you think, no matter how many white women you sleep with, no matter how much you swear at black women, you're still an African. You understand? You cannot run from who you are. You need to be running into who you are. Right? You see this? I met these brothers this morning. I didn't know them. Right? This is what we have to do. We cannot keep doing this divisiveness and debating about what camp that you belong to. Because the camp that you really counts, right, is the camp that is decided by everything in your life. Whether you're here on the continent or here in the United States or in Europe, right? We got to stick together. Unity is the greatest fear of the Europeans with African people. I'm telling you.
I got like 10 stories back down there, but I'll just give you one right now. One story is we were on the bus. We were going somewhere. There was two ladies there. and they were talking about us in Arabic. What they were saying is, we're sick of all these, they said niggas, they didn't say black people, we're sick of these niggas coming to our country, bringing AIDS, guns, violence, etc., blah, blah, blah. He speaks Arabic.
Yeah.
He called him out on it.
Yeah.
And he said, I understand what you said, and I don't really appreciate that. They both turned beet red in the face.
Yeah.
Because they were just like, oh, you speak Arabic? Why didn't you tell us that? And he said, I shouldn't have to tell you that. You shouldn't be saying that about me, you know? So, I mean, we got a bunch of stories, but that was the one that really hit home when we're down there.
So, in other words, he was actually saying you all was niggas. No matter if you was an Arab, no matter if you was a Jamaican, no matter if you was Afro American, no matter if you was Puerto Rican, you was a nigga. Period. You know, they put us all in one category. You know, and that's what's going on in this country. They tend to do that. They tend to put us all in one category under one umbrella, that we all are nothing but no good niggas. You know, we ain't gonna amount to anything. No matter how much, like you said, no matter how much education you got, you still a nigga. Like Jay-Z said, Wall Street nigga, hood nigga, you all number niggas. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and some of these so-called Afro-Americans think the only way they're gonna get out of it is to what they're gonna do, chop off their nose and thin their lips and bleach their skin. But you can't get out of it that way. It's hard to get out of it. Well, know why? Because you're born into this.
But they doing it. That's why they get the white man.
That's
why they get a white woman.
You're born
they think they can make children
you're not
that
gonna survive.
are more accepted.
Yes.
You understand? That's part of it. Right. That's what they're trying to do. That's how they use miscegenation against us.
Right, exactly. And one of the things I actually said before was that we have to start creating this mindset that any issues that happens to my brothers in Egypt, in Rwanda, in Ghana, wherever else in the world, have to affect every one of us because they're attacking all of us the same way. And we have very divisive mindset, meaning like, you know what, I'm good, I have money, I have a car, I have a house, nobody's bothering me, so I'm not dealing with overt racism. There's different type of racism. There's overt racism and there's microaggressive racism, right? So a lot of us, we are comfortable with microaggressive racism, meaning like a white person could say something about your hair or something about your lips, but laugh about it, you laugh about it and then you move on. And many times when you're not conscious, you're not even aware of many times the racism that we'll deal with, the microaggressive. So we have to really take every issue of every African around the world seriously. And like example, a lot of issues that goes on in Haiti right now, it's not on TV, it doesn't bother us, right? And even us, we even socialize. When it happened in France or Paris, when people died, what we did? We all started.
Just sweet, Paris.
Because what? You got to say, you got it.
How about just sweet Africa?
So, but like African kids, babies die, women, men, they die every day, right? And our brothers and sisters die everywhere else in the world. In Brazil, they kill us like animals, right? In Egypt, everywhere else in the world. In China, we have been oppressed. In India,
how about Peru?
So
They massacre
all Africans then. But
Argentina.
So then, how do we feel? Why are we not hurt? Why are we not passionate about Africans, Americans being oppressed? About Africans around the world being oppressed? Because we've been socialized to see each other as animals.
Yes.
To see from the perspective of the Europeans. So we've become Europeans in black skin. Right. So our job right now, through education, through self-knowledge, is to find ourselves again and go back to what it means to really be an African. And something you said before, instead of running away from being African, run towards it. And that is power. And once we have that mindset, we come together, my brother from Egypt, and you speak out, we have different values, and we have this mindset. You have something I don't have, right? We come together. We teach each other. We gain power through knowledge. We create organizations, right? It's simple. Like you have a bookstore. I come to you first. I say a white man, a Chinese man, could we have a bigger bookstore? Could we have a bookstore as big as this block? But I'll come to him before I go to any other race. Why? Because that is unity. And that is how we develop ourselves. So, that's something we need to practice. So it's one love. You're not Indian, all right? You're not European. You're nothing but African. So we need to create that mindset and come together and love one another as one and not oppress each other the way the white man has oppressed us for many years.
Let's ask everybody a question, right? Why do you think when you start becoming more African, you get more attacked, right? The more you dress African, the more you make your hair African, right? The outside enemy civilization attacks you.
Right.
Why? If being an African was such a bad thing, why every time I get in a plane to go to Egypt, I get in a plane to go to Ethiopia, I get in a plane to go to Ghana or Nigeria, almost 90% of the plane is white people.
Right.
Yeah.
Other people going to exploit, or
Right.
going to
Dress
learn,
like us, right.
dress
Right.
or learn how to
Right.
dance like us.
Right.
Right. When I started locking my hair a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
Everybody at my job, right, is so curious.
Right.
The other people are saying, what's going on?
Right.
Well, my hair does this. This is what
Right.
my hair
Right.
can do.
Right.
It's not about
But and it's you, and
It's
and
me.
you just being you becomes
It's
the problem.
me.
Right.
Right. So you have to understand this. That means there's power. When somebody tries to separate you from who and what you are,
Right.
there is power in that.
There's power in that.
But
Right.
then, and at the same time, when they're trying to be that, who spend all the money? The orange man that's in the White House spend all his money to
Right.
go down to the Caribbean or Florida,
Florida,
right?
right.
Or go into tanning salons to try to look like who? Right? In
Right.
ancient law, when you grew up hearing tall, dark, and handsome. So how in the hell is black ugly?
Right.
Right? So
Right.
think about all those things, right? The real deal is everybody want to be you.
Everybody want to be naturally.
It's,
Right.
it's
Right.
hate.
Hate,
Wait,
right.
we always in the hood, yo, he hating.
Right.
No, who
right.
you think is the biggest hater
Haters,
on the planet?
Right.
They want to be you. They want your woman.
You want your woman.
I say this. I've never seen a white man with a light-skinned black woman.
Right. Exactly.
Every time I see a white
The
man
dark-
with a white
darkest of the
woman,
dark, right.
either darker than the
Right.
dark or dark brown.
Dark
Never.
brown, never,
Why
right.
is that?
Right.
Right?
Because they know. We are the epitome of all things. Beauty,
Right.
knowledge, naturally. And actually, the melanin actually is actually connected to intelligence.
Yes.
Right. So we actually a superpowered race. You know, and one thing black people are afraid of is to talk about superiority. There is no such thing as equality in nature.
Yes.
You never find equality in birds, not in butterfly, not in plants.
An eagle, and an owl,
Not
and a
nothing.
sparrow are different.
God didn't create nothing equal. All right,
Right.
everything has the uniqueness, yes, but
That's
there's
right.
always a hierarchy. The black race, by the essence of the black skin, are
Don't
superior.
say they're gonna attack you, brother.
No, black race by the essence of just the blackness alone was superior. Who could run like us? Who could jump like us?
Think as fast as us.
Who created the first spirituality? Comes from all
Yeah.
melanin,
So
all
you
religions
mentioned
stem.
that. Let me ask you a
from-
question.
Yeah.
Is there any other Messiah out of all the Messiahs we study? What Messiah is another race but African? So I've never studied
None.
a Messiah
None.
that was not African.
None. All of Africa.
Every single Messiah is African.
Even
Every single
religion.
one.
Every religion, the foundation for every religion, Islam, Christianity, Hinduism. It's all African based.
Buddhism.
Like Buddhism was an African
Buddha
man.
was African.
Was African man. You know, in ancient India, they used to take their babies. Right? People don't know this. And they used to rub their babies in charcoal. Trying to get their babies black.
Look
Trying
at the
to
hair.
get their babies
Look at the hair
black
here.
because
Look at the
they.
hair.
Right.
Who is that?
Those are baby locks, brother.
That's Bantu knots.
Right. Right.
Bantu knots.
Right. So even in China, there was
Even in China,
there was a saying
the,
that if you don't have a black skin and but black blood in you, like if you
samurai.
if you
One
have
drop of
black blood in you, you're weak. You're weak. So strength, they consider Asian China, they consider black strength, and now they've socialized for us to be afraid to speak on that when it's on our faces. We won the football. Right? Naturally. We want basketball. Because no other of us can do it like we do. Even intellectually, we're afraid to say, even if in Africa, right? Where there's no lights, where people have to study with candle lights, right? There's people who still excel. They come to this country, they excel because they have discipline. And African American kid tell me, oh, it's smart because it's Chinese. No, it's not smart because it's Chinese. It's smart because it was socialized to read from young age.
Yes.
Now, even with African babies from young, they can walk faster than any other race, right? From babies,
Yes.
they actually start cognitive, deciphering things from young before any other race. This is fact, right? So even with all the bad food, we all the bad resources, we all lack of education, and we still excel. Even under these conditions, no other race have to go through what we've been through, and we still excel. So I told you we are naturally superior. As I am, like I work out, but I don't have to even work hard to get to where I am, right? I don't have to think hard to get, because our manly gives us a sense of security, and it's a shame that we are so afraid to acknowledge this. Because like God didn't create us to be equal to anyone, and once you start understanding that, and we start appreciating that, and start running towards Africanity, and start loving who we are, we start taking our place in this world. Our place in this world not to be subservient, it's not to be on the bottom of Eurocentric perspective, it's to be at the top, and everyone else gets from us. And that's the way that, you know, that should be our goal. I don't believe in equality. I don't believe that we should be equal to a white man. To even think about equality is a sin against your essence, against your true self.
There's a difference between,
I believe in African superiority, and we should reach to our highest potential as Africans, not to be equal in society, because society is not us. We create a civilization, so we should always seek to be our highest self at all times.
Right, not just lower self.
You know something you touched on. It takes time to keep a people oppressed.
Right, it takes time.
All the stuff you can imagine, all the stuff that they have done to us over the foods. I mean, like everything. They constantly do it over and over again. Let's go to Detroit with the water.
Right.
Puerto Rico with what's going on there.
Right.
You know, it takes time to just sit down and say, listen, this is what we got to do. Like take Trump for instance. Everything Obama is doing, I got to destroy everything.
Right.
Everything. He even went to the point to overturn, right, for mildly retarded people, autistic people, that Obama said, you know, don't give them no guns. we want to allow these people to get any guns. To get any guns, you can't give a person that's autistic a gun because you're just gonna shoot, kill people for no reason.
Right.
Trump went in there and overturned that, said we're gonna allow these people to get guns. What kind of madness is that? So what I'm saying is that these people, I mean, stay up all night working on ways to keep us oppressed. It takes a lot of time and effort to do that constantly every single day, to keep us, to flood our communities with all this bad food, with all this bad water, with all this bad resources, to keep us uneducated, miseducated within the school system. That is a hell of a thing. And just like you say, and like the sister said, and still we rise. No matter what, still we rise and we overcome.
Now, I'm gonna piggyback on Brother Willie and talk about Paulo Freire. It's another book in the white man college I got, because we were talking about earlier on Baba's Facebook Live about how black people don't want to read books, and some people don't want to read books by white people from other races, right? But Paulo Freire is basically a white Brazilian that wrote a couple of books, but the book that I think is most pertinent to our existence is called Pedagogy of the Oppressed. Pedagogy means teaching, the teaching of the oppressed, right? And in that book, he talks about, for you to be an oppressor, right, you have to dig the hole 6 feet down,
get in there,
right? Throw the person or whatever you want to oppress in that hole, and you got to get down in the hole to keep them, because the natural order of man is to stand.
It's to stand, right?
Can I say
Right?
something?
Yes, sir.
You gotta get this information to the sisters, because they're the ones that's raising your children.
Right.
Okay? If you don't get this information to them, your children are lost.
Right.
That's why they walk around, they don't know no better, they don't have no respect no more. I mean, I remember a time when I grew up, men dressed like men. They didn't walk around with their pants hanging off their ass. You know what I mean? I mean, these dudes, I seen cats walk around with their pants all the way down here. So I mean, what you trying to say with that? You know what I mean? You got to get this information to the women, because the women is lost right now. I mean, these sisters are not even for the brothers no more. They can't even stand you. They look at you with disgust. Okay? Not because you don't have no job, not because you disrespect them. They just look at you like that because they've been bred to look at you like that.
Right. Socialized.
Exactly. Social media, all kinds of stuff you see on TV. You gotta get rid of some of that nonsense, man.
I agree.
You know, I see a bunch of people. I turn on Facebook. The first thing I see is a fight on TV.
Right.
Somebody black knocking somebody else black out.
Right.
But I don't see you knocking them white boys out.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly. Right.
But you jump at me right away because I look like you.
Right.
Go knock some of the white boys out.
Black racism.
Yeah.
Black on black racism.
So crazy,
bringing full circle.
It's just
crazy. One thing I want us to understand that is racism is power based. Like black people, even though we've been oppressed more than any other race, we still don't understand the concept of racism. Racism is power. Prejudice. Everybody has prejudice.
We oppress each other.
Right?
Now.
Racism is not saying, you know what, I don't like you, I want to hang you. That's not really racism. Racism is actually having the power to hang somebody, right? So in the concept of what you said about Obama, right? Amos Wilson said one thing. He said you could have a $60,000 job, you could have an $80,000 job, you could have a $90,000 job. Your relationship with the white race is still no different from your ancestors, because as you work your $80,000 job, your $100,000 job, you work to build the empire of the white race. So even under Obama, black people actually were more unemployed under Obama than most white presidents. And he has done less for black people than he has done. He has done more for the gays than he did for black. He has done for the lesbians, for the transgender community that he did for black. So it's not to say like he's a bad man, but he's working under a system that is naturally set up to oppress us. So no matter what we do as a black race, right, to kind of escape this oppressive system, it's still going to be the same. That's why I would say there's no such as a good cop. Because right now, a cop could have a good heart, right, a good intention, right? But it's his job. Yeah, it's his job to walk around where black communities. It's his job to give you tickets, to shoot you down, and not to talk about, not to speak anything against bad cops. You never see a cop speak against any other cop. Never. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what the intentions are. Like a white person could have good intention, but it still benefits from white privilege. It still benefits from racism. You could carry a Black Lives Matter flag, but it's still going white, right? And no black person will ever allow his children to be to look for your children for jobs, right? So racism is power. So they won't never give up power, but they might not want you to get shot, or never want you to be better than them, or to be equal to them, or to have opportunity, because they know if they do, we will overtake them naturally. Naturally.
No, sad thing is that in the 1950s, 1960s, we was walking around with a sign. We was walking around with a sign saying, "I am a man." Like we was walking around with different signs saying, "I'm a man," you know. In 2017, now we walking around with a sign saying that the blacks do we matter.
Right. I agree. So
that is crazy.
No, I mean, again, I feel like our position should not be to be equal or to work within the system to thrive, because that would never happen. Our ancestors are not dumb. They've tried all these things. They've tried to, Malcolm X, all these people are very intelligent people. So they've tried to make money within the system. They've tried to, pray it with racism. They've tried to mix, have interracial relationships. They've tried all this thing that we're still debating, all these things. They've tried it. It's never worked. So our job should always be not only to destroy the system, but also create a socioeconomic system of our own that reflects an Afrocentric mindset for the benefit of African people alone. Every race fights for their own, naturally. Right now, if racism does not exist, if you put a Chinese man, a black man.
When you're talking about African people, he's talking about all of us. He's not talking. No matter if you call yourself Jamaican, Cuban, Puerto Rican, Dominican, you can call yourself any of these European names that was handed to you back in the 1800s, all you want, but you're an African people, right? Them Puerto Ricans know that now.
They know that, right?
They know that now. They know. Because they know they wouldn't be treated like that if they was white.
Right.
They know that.
They figured that out in 2017.
Okay?
It took Trump to do this to you? To do that? Are you serious?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
When your grandmother, you trying to hide your African grandmother in the closet?
In the closet,
with
right.
Dominicans,
now, it goes,
Puerto Ricans, come on.
In the 80s as well. It's really big in the 80s as well. So, yeah.
The first Indian was a black man. So you want to claim Taino Indians and all this other stuff, but the first Indian was a black man. He was black before he was red.
Right.
Okay.
Read the book. Where's he at? Wait, where my man at? Get what's the name's logs.
One thing we gotta focus on is our money to stop leaving the community. Look around you right now. You go to Bread Lobster, your money leaving the community.
Real quick. Look at this. This is the Journal of Christopher Columbus.
Should be getting this mark.
This is the Journal of Christopher Columbus.
Together, putting your money together to get this mark. Somebody white gonna come in here, snatch up this mark, and you gonna still be on the street.
Right.
Okay? You need to pull your money together, get this mark. Stop playing.
It's about, let me tell you, what the proof is. No, I'm not hating on anything that you're saying. But let me give you the reality.
That's the only way to fight this with green.
Let me give you the reality, right? Money is not power.
It's not power, but what's
Money,
behind
listen,
it?
wait. I'm gonna give you the
Exactly.
evidence that it's not power, right? 2001, right? The powers that be closed this down. Right? And if you had a bag of money with $1 billion
They wouldn't have sold it to you.
that's power.
Give it to you.
That's power. So that means power. What did we say in our other conversations earlier? Unity is power. They don't fear you having money.
That's a fact.
They don't care how much money you got.
But
We each can be a
we gotta
billionaire.
control where our money goes,
Right?
That's the point.
Economics is not the answer. I'm sorry. You have to control the system. You have to develop weapons. Get power. That's how you get power.
But no,
That's how you get power. You got to defend yourself. You got to defend yourself.
Prejudice is the things that keep us down. We prepare
perpetuate our own prejudices. Now, racism is the things, the policies and everything that keep us down. And we don't control those. The people with money control those. And if you really think about it, the black and Hispanic population, but mainly the colored population in the United States, is only 13% of the population. And so you think about it, and out of that 13%, 80% of that 13% is incarcerated and in the lower class.
Right, yeah, naturally, right.
See what you started? Yo, you see what Yinka started today? Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, see, naturally, so naturally,
tell them on Facebook over here on this camera where to follow you on Instagram.
So follow me, it's Omo Yoruba, OMOYORUBA, 7 and 3, 7 IN 3. Okay.
You gotta spell that again, because you know you gotta slow down. So you gotta give it to them slow, because they need to follow you.
Okay, so follow me on. It's called Omo Yoruba 7 and 3. Okay, it's OMOYORUBA, 7 NIN 3. Okay, right. So follow me. I have a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge.
It's a good brother.
Appreciate it, brother.
Good brother. Good brother.
So naturally, when we speak about issues that concerns us, that concerns our children, and we all come together naturally because it affects all of us.
Right.
I was affecting this. I was talking to this brother yesterday about interracial relationships, right? And I was telling this one like genocide of African people, and he was asking me, he was a lawyer, you know, it was like, ow, and how can that be? You know, love is not love, because one,
love is work.
As a black man alone, yes. Right? The issues that we go through, that you go through, right? No other race can really, they can sympathize with you,
right?
Right? They could, you know, it's a spiritual essence to it. Like when you see a cop, even if you're good driving, they stop you. You get nervous.
Oh, you get nervous.
You get nervous. And like no other can feel how you feel. Only a black woman can understand this. And not just the social factor. Right. Now the economic factor. Women live longer than men. This is fact. Most, you know. Yeah. So when you die, all your work, all your wealth, goes to the race of the woman. Goes to the family. Go to our nieces, our cousins, goes to that race, and that's what we've been practicing for a long time, multiculturalism, right? No other race practice. If you see the Jews, most of the Jews marry Jew.
They're the most. You
cannot tell a Jew to marry a German. He will kill you. So why do we find it natural to want to mate with people that are still oppressing us, that enslaved your grandmother, that raped your grandmother? Why do we find it natural in ourselves to even seek that? All right, so it should not be a natural to us. So that's something that we need to start changing ourselves. Once you start loving ourselves, we start moving away from that mentality and start seeing the reality of who we are. So something I'm gonna touch base on, running towards in Africa, because a lot of Africans are not even Africa.
No, trust
They're not even Africans, because they're Europeans in Africa. That's why a lot of leaders are killing us. Right? That's why a lot of leaders are destroying, giving away our resources to the Chinese coming in. Even if it's in Nigeria now,
cobalt.
In Nigeria now, gold, right? In Nigeria now, Chinese coming in, just taking our women, right? Mistreating our men. Yes. Like, look at these people. They have nothing on their land. We have everything. So where did they get this power? They get this power because we don't love ourselves. Because we want to be the China man. We want to be European. We want to be from France, right? So we easily give ourselves away. When God created us to be what? To the top, to be supreme. Naturally, you can see it. You don't need to be a philosopher to see the supremacy of a black man.
Geneticist.
You see the beauty. No other woman looks like the African woman.
Praise the Lord.
No other woman look at us, and like they don't even know themselves, right? They walk around with like long hair, right? No,
white
blue eyes.
White women fur.
Right.
Have your own hair, woman.
And like our hair grows to we're the only race that grows towards the sun. And in fact, we're the only humans on Earth. Every other race are not humans. Do you know why they test on lab rats, on white lab rats? Because a brown or black mice is the reflection of all mice. Right? A white lab rat is a genetically recessive, so it reflects the white race. So all this medicine, Tylenol, Advil, it's not for black people. It's set up for white people, for them to benefit from it. So we just, whatever effects it has on us is not the same thing. Even alcohol. Alcohol is more, it kills us black people more than it kills white people. So we're not the same.
Right.
So all that human shit is not real, because we're not the same. Even on genetic level, we're not the same. Milk. We don't need milk. Milk is actually very poisonous to black people. Then white people need milk because they don't take it. They don't absorb the sun. They need it to break down the vitamin D. We don't need milk. So when a black child grows to like after 6 years old and still drinking milk, it's actually very, very dangerous to the black child. So we don't know that because
we don't even have the enzymes to break it down.
So right now we moving. That's why a lot of black people are lactose intolerant. So we're moving like them.
Enzymes.
And even as in the spiritual sense, think like we are the same. We're not. We're not. All because they have 5 fingers like us, or because they have 2 feet like us. No, we're not the same.
Chip has 5 fingers.
Even the mindset. There was a time in Nigeria where my dad used to tell me that there was a time, I always say the story, where the farmers would get fruits and then put the fruit down, right? And put like a basket and put it there and go home. And come back, people will take the fruit, put money in it. That is how we are as Africans. And when the farmers come back, you just take the basket and go home. That is our nature as Africans. The Europeans don't have this nature. Right? They don't have this kind of nature, but they do.
So are you saying Europeans psychologically and spiritually are not human beings?
They're not. Our behaviors are learned. It's not African. There was a time where there's a story came out with this kid who was 8 years old or 9, and he stole something in Nigeria. What they did? They put tire on them and they burned them. Yeah. And I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
And so I tell my friend, do you know where we learned that? Because during the colonization, the Europeans, they would take us, right? Put tire on us and burn us. Our behavior towards each other is a learned behavior. It's not ours, right? So what happened when Amos said that? When you enter somebody else's culture, your psyche is not okay. We are not psychologically well because we're operating from a Eurocentric consciousness.
So
we're
not
operating
from
from
pack up all that garbage,
right?
All that baggage, and give it right back. We can drop it at 1600.
Throw it out.
Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington D.C.
Throw it out.
If you live in England, you can drop it out down at 10 Downing Street, the home of the Prime Minister.
Right.
Even you could take some of it to the UN because that's a sham too.
Right.
We got to give all that sickness back. We got to start living as ourselves. Run towards yourself. Stop running away from you.
Right.
This is what we have to. If we don't do it, right? I'm gonna quote my grand master teacher, Dr. John Clark. Pan-Africanism or perish. If we don't go into who we are, our days are going to be numbered. I don't care how long
it's going on now.
Here.
It's going on now.
It's going on right now. There's things, I know many of us don't watch news sources outside of American news sources. Watch RT News, right? Watch BBC. Right. Watch China Blue TV. Watch India TV. Watch these news stations because they tell you about the whole world and what's going on.
Right.
Not just what's going on in your little corner section of the world, right? America's not the world. I know they act like they're the greatest, but I'll say this, they've never been great.
They've never been great. Even economically, they've never been great. You know, so
they've been great at death, destruction, and disease.
That's it.
But
the one thing
in terms
that I'll say
of
that's great about African culture is when you have everybody that will come to the table and talk. You have a perspective that you can bring to the world. I have a perspective, all of us. You know, because every person, see, for me, nobody ever wants to talk about health. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm involved in. I'm an acupuncturist. I treat people with herbs and with needles, etc.
How can they get in contact with you?
Oh, I got the card right.
You gotta flash it up. Right? Healthy.
Right there. Heal thee. So I travel to people, you know. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be better than you giving one to everybody here?
Sure.
Okay, we'll give it to him. Don't take it out your pocket and give it to him.
I did. He got it in his hand. He passing it out.
So that's black unity, right? Gotta
Business,
stick together, right?
Stick together. Invest in one another.
Support my brother.
You know, invest in one another. You know, it's important. So you know,
this came from Africa.
Look at that.
So, and another point I want us to make, right? As Africans, even our culture and our tradition, it's not perfect, right? So a lot of people when they're running towards being African, even as Africans and myself, I knew when I was born and raised in Nigeria, I came out at 13. I knew more about Britain and about America than I knew about Nigeria, and I was born and raised there. So you know what I'm saying? So even our education is structured in such a way where to keep us brainwashed, where to keep us in this very Eurocentric mindset, right? So as Africans, our culture is not perfect. Even when we go back to our Asian traditions, it has to be room for growth. So anytime as Africans, when we get into information that rubs us the wrong way, like, oh wow, our behaviors doesn't seem to match, we kind of stay away from it. We have to accept Amos said it. He said we have to accept being African, the good and the bad. The bad and ugly. You know, there was a time when in Nigeria they used to kill twins. Right? We hear that, we're like, whoa, you know, that is what happened. In European culture, they used to fuck animals. They still do it today. There's a community in New York. They're fighting for it. So we have to understand this.
You can never hit this hate dog, you would never win. Yeah, jumping out the Porsche, drop top, faded hot again. The Yola come to bricks and the weed come to dark.
So nobody like us.
Nobody like us, bro. And again, like we see things like that, which like, you know, it's like it's sickness, like dogs against. I'm just saying, like, based on their environment, they're able to create that kind of culture for themselves, right? It's an oppressive environment, right? A lot of them are living in very structure of projects, right? That's set up to destroy them, and they still created this system of like we put a rhythm, right? A brotherhood. A love. So hip hop, rap, all those things are created under oppression still. So that's how our psyche works. Like when a black man want to kill another black man in the very or aggressive another black man, or when they want to do something destructive for their community or for themselves, it's because it's a learned subconscious process, right? So black and black crime is not a natural thing for us. It was a situation that we're placed in. It is a survival mechanism. Remember, there are black criminals as well, right? The black criminals are stuck in the same way as good black people, right? In the same little box.
The projects, the ghetto.
The ghetto.
But in this country, that's the only thing they focus on is black on black crime, right? If you ask about crime, right, and they say black on black crime, you know, people just gravitate to it, not knowing that when you look at crime and people that's committing crimes against their own people, right? You got to ask yourself, don't the aged Chinese shake down Chinese? Who you think got the Chinese paying for protection? It ain't black people. It's Chinese. Who killed more Chinese? Chinese. What about Italians? You go out into some Italian neighborhoods in Brooklyn, who you think is killing Italians? Italians are killing Italians. Ain't no black people killing Italians. Ain't no Jewish people killing Italians. So there you have it. But they only want to focus on black crime. You understand what I'm saying? So you have other races killing, you know, Italians killing Italians, Chinese killing Chinese, but they don't focus on that. They only want to focus on black crime. I just have to interject that in there, you know.
Yeah, like, it's just